Powered by the Zapata Brand Studio. This is Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z.
What's up, guys? Joe Zapata here, straight out of Jersey, and I'm here with an ECW original pro wrestler, Tommy Cairo. Cairo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
Good, my man. Thanks for coming, man. I really enjoyed
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I saw you at the Wrestling Con on Saturday. You were there with a bunch of people, a lot of great time. Coco Beware, all the wrestlers were there. Great time.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah. And go ahead. I'll let you.
So what I want to know is I know you've been taking a lot of bumps, especially for ECW, which was very tough. But I know we had Marty Jannetty lose a leg, Buff Bagwell lost a leg, and I can't believe that you actually lost your leg. Is that true?
Yeah. Yes. I think I was the first one.
Yeah. What happened? How did this happen?
Well, I have a place in Virginia on the Chesapeake Bay.
Okay.
Now I'm down there, and for my own good, I can't enjoy time off. I always got something bugging me, something I'm obsessing about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down there on the beach, and I cut my trip short. I said, you know what? I ain't feeling it. I'm going home. So I took one little last dip in the water. I actually only walked in a few feet. And here I am, getting ready to pack the car and driving 6.5 hours home instead of just sitting tight and relaxing and enjoying it. So I now, as I'm in the water, I got felt like I got stung, and I'm like, what was that? Well, when I came out of the water, there was about a 12-inch long circle, jaggedy, looked like a state almost, just a thin line.
Really?
On the outline, right? So I didn't think nothing of it, I'm one of those guys,
yeah,
I know better now, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I've been through all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, you let things go. You're like, yeah, well, what is it? So my wife looked at it and she said, you should get, what is that? I said, I don't know. I got stung. Maybe it was a jellyfish or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's put a pin in that for a minute. About, I don't know. We bought that place 7 years ago. We were down there the first time to see the realtor, and I'm standing in the street, sandy roads. They're not even paved, and there's golf carts. It's a golf cart community, and people are driving around, and people stopped, and then people from the corner house across the street from me came across, and we're all standing in the street talking. And so out of nowhere, the guy comes up with, he says, we're moving. I said, okay. He said, I don't know if you know it or not, but a guy got cut on fishing gear, pulling up a crab pot or whatever, and he wound up losing his arm from getting sepsis. I'm like, oh my God. In the back of my head, the whole time I'm thinking this. Well, who did that happen to? Me. That time I got stung. So I go home, and so I remember my leg was was my ankle. I felt like my ankle was just hurting me. So I remember being in the car with my son. I bought him a 350Z for his first car, and he was had his permit. So I dropped him off at church, and I had the car. I said, I'll come back and get you after church. I said, I think I know what's wrong. I think I sprained my ankle. Something's not right with my ankle. Well, that's the last thing I remember. I wake up in the hospital, and there's an Indian doctor standing over me, and he's like, all your levels are back to normal. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, it just so happened I got stung by something, got infected, had got caught sepsis, and was already having a psychotic episode. So I don't remember anything after dropping my son off.
Holy shit.
So that's a week, bro.
Jesus.
My wife said, she finally said, something right. He's mumbling and talking, and what are you talking to? And I was talking to myself. Now, she had to tell me all this. I don't remember any of this. she said, she took me to the hospital. They brought me in and they checked and I had sepsis and they had to go right to work to cut my leg off.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I had 7 separate operations to continue to take it until finally I have about, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches below my knee of my own leg still, which
Wow.
thank God, because that's the mechanical part of it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And at least I have that,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
without that, and then you got to depend on the prosthetic to be
Yes.
the mechanical part.
Mm.
So,
That's fucking crazy.
what do you do? So I had a psychotic episode. My kidneys were failing, my liver was failing. I ended up with what do you call that? Irregular heartbeat, AFib.
Oh my God.
So they had to shock me back. I almost died in my driveway. It's bro, and then that started just the beginning. I mean, I had issues with my heart, issues with this, issues with that, my prostate. Finally, now it's just like 3.5 years. I think it'll be 4 years in September since I had it amputated. But here's the thing: I'm 3 months in a hospital on my back. I don't. I see a frozen screen. You see me?
I see you. I see you. I
Everything's
see you.
fine. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
So, all right. So 3 months on my back in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Another almost 9 months with in a wheelchair with no prosthetic. Okay.
Okay.
Then I get my prosthetic. I have it for 3 weeks, and I fall on my tile floor in my hallway and break my 16-year-old prosthetic hip, and had to have a hip replacement. I didn't even heal yet from the amputation. I got my leg, but I'm still healing underneath. And here I break my hip and have to go in and have my hip replaced. So I have a 16-year-old hip, and I have it's actually almost 20-year-old now, and a 4-year-old new hip.
Wow.
And that goes with the cage, the 2 bars in my back, and all
Jesus.
the replaced discs, composite discs, and yeah.
Wow.
So
How hard was that? Because mentally, you're an athlete. You were a bodybuilder first,
yeah,
and you did bodybuilding and everything, and then you're a pro wrestler in ECW. Your legs, you lose your leg. That's tough mentally.
yeah. But I'll tell you one thing. It all came out like people were saying, like, all right. So my wife calls my best buddy. Remember Equalizer from ECW?
Yes, of course.
That Paulie's a good friend of mine. So she calls Paulie and tell him, listen, the doctors told me not to go home tonight. Maybe you should come. And he said, first of all, he said, do you don't realize after all these years who's laying in that bed? That's the Iron Man.
The Iron
That's
Man.
not just a gimmick. That's, if
Mm-hmm.
anybody knows that, you should know that.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am.
Mm-hmm.
My wife retells the story, and I try to remember what I can. And I put my leg on. Right now I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. I look down. I got a stub because I took it off to lay down
Mm-hmm.
and relax. Right.
Yeah.
And every day I get up and I spin around to the side of bed, which I have to be very careful because if I lean too much to one side, there's nothing supporting me on that side.
Yeah.
Even sitting on the side of the bed, I'll fall right out.
Mm-hmm.
So I look down and I see that, and it's a shock every day. But I put my boot on, my leg on, and roll it up. And I look down, I see 2 boots.
Mm-hmm.
I get up and I go. It's what I
Wow.
got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think about it. I was on the Monty and the Pharaoh show.
Yes, I saw you.
Yeah,
I know
a week
Monty.
after I got my leg.
Wow.
Yeah, and I haven't stopped since. So,
Wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean,
Growing up, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. I'm 52. Growing up, Tony Garea, Rick Martel. I know Bruno Sammartino. I love all the great guys I grew watching. Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
how about I started watching at 8 years old?
Oh wow, that's so
So
going back.
1966.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
And
So
if you note the name of my new company is Super Strong Pro Heavyweight Wrestling, because the show that I watched was called heavyweight wrestling from Washington, D.C.
Wow.
That was Ray Morgan was the ring announcer, and that was Vince's dad.
Vince, yep.
So here I am, started watching at 8. Now, at 10 years old, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the 1 week. It was 12 o'clock on Saturdays on Channel 9. It would come on. So here I am sitting there and I'm watching, and they're talking about next week, Bruno Sammartino and his cousin, of course, kayfabe cousin, was Antonio Pugliese, who is actually Tony Parisi. They'll be having a tag team match against, I don't know, Baron Cicluna and King Curtis, whatever it was. So they announced it the week before. So, I'm going to watch that next week. So next week, I turn it on, and they announced it in the beginning, later on tonight, whatever. Have that tag team match, and I'm watching. Time for the tag team match. They announced the heels. The heels are in the ring. So they announce Antonio. And Antonio comes out. They announce Bruno. No, Bruno. We have to check and see if there's some problem, Bruno. Oh, and the guy comes out and he gives a note to the ring announcer, Ray Morgan, and Ray reads it and he says, "Oh, it looks like Bruno missed his flight, his connecting flight, and he's not going to be here." So I don't know. I guess they rang the bell, whatever. They get Antonio Pugliese gets jumped. They're beating him down, double, two of them putting the boots to him. All of a sudden, Ray Morgan's like, "What? Wait a minute. It's Bruno." Bruno comes running in with his a suitcase with like a tie hanging out of it. Shirt's half untied, his jacket's hanging, and he's in his street clothes. And he runs into the ring, and him and Antonio Pugliese are back to back. They fight off the heels. I'm screaming. My mother comes running in the room. "What's the matter?" I said, "It's Bruno, his cousin." My mother's like, "Oh, you're driving me nuts with this." So what does she do? She tells my uncle, who's a wrestling fan. He's the one who turned me on to wrestling.
Okay.
Take him to the matches. And off we go, 10 years old, to see Bruno Sammartino at Newark Armory.
Wow.
And then into my teens, I would take buses before I was driving. Then I took a job at the South Mountain Arena in West Orange because I knew that they had wrestling there.
Okay.
I took a maintenance job. This is funny because I just saw Johnny Rods. So,
he's there Saturday. Unpredictable Johnny Rods.
So here we go, 1976. I'm working at South Mountain Arena. It's the night of the show. I'm setting up chairs, getting ready. Change my shift so I can be there, So the matches start, and I go up to this is a pretty big ice hockey arena. They weren't packing it. So it wasn't filled up to the top. So where the Zamboni comes out of that chute, I knew that if you went up there and looked over that chute from the stands, there was a space between where they dropped the curtain down and the hallway where the boys would wait to come out. And if you went up top and peeked over, you could see them standing there waiting to go out.
Oh, wow.
So I run up there and I look down, and there's Johnny Rods standing there ready to go out. Now, I didn't care about the matches because I've seen matches. I was 17. I've been watching it for, 9 years, whatever, by then. Okay. So I wanted to know what's going on in the back, man. I'm 17. I wasn't stupid. I already figured it out. I knew what was up, and I wanted to see what was going on inside. Okay. So I hollered down, "Java Rook." Nobody knew this back then. This is 1976. There was one sheets, one whatever newsletter.
The dirt sheets.
Yeah, I think it was like Combat Sports. There's roller derby and wrestling. So in a hallway. So anyway, I hollered down, "Java Rook," and he turns around, he looks up and he sees me, and I see him crack a smile. So years later, I told him that. He goes, "That was you stupid kid." So how did you know? Because I used to read the magazines front to back. My teenage years, I lived in the black and white pages of pro wrestling magazines. Yes. And so you had maybe results from Poughkeepsie, New York, or whatever, and you see Johnny Rods. His boots had a J and an R on them. Then you go to the back and you see results from the Olympic Auditorium, Java Rook. I'm like, wait a minute. front to back, front to back, one for the front of the back. That's Johnny Rods. And Java Rook. And the funny thing was, anybody that was a journeyman, we call them jobber, whatever, back then, when they went to California or other places, they were not. They were big stars.
Yes.
A guy by the name of Butcher Brannigan, Vinegar Joe Nova was his name.
Wow.
He was huge in LA, and so was Johnny Ross. Johnny Ross, what they called the America's champion for in California, and that was that real karate guy who there was two brothers that were the promoters there, LaBelle, Mike and Gene LaBelle. So I'm sure you've heard that
Judo,
name.
of course, Judo Gene LaBelle, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and that was my coming up. And then I met Gary Capetta at a young age, and he would come down tonight. I'll let you in. I got let in through the locker room. By the time I showed up as a worker, everybody knew me since I was a kid.
Yeah, but you were bodybuilding too, right? You got jacked. You got really big.
I was bodybuilding. Well, here's what happened. I started out as an Olympic style weightlifter. Phil Rapaldi was an Olympic weightlifter in our town, and we had a town gym because of him. And I started my Olympic lifting training at like 12 years old. I competed at 13 in like the 123-pound weight class.
Wow.
While the press was still in. So they had the clean and jerk, 3 attempts, the press, 3 attempts, and the snatch, 3 attempts. So there were shows that sometimes the weightlifting went on until midnight, and the bodybuilding back then would go on after the weightlifting.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like a little floodlight and a little stage made out of black, plywood.
Yeah.
And no music, nothing. So I was part of the Olympic weightlifting team in Belleville. Went on to 3 junior Olympic championships by the time I was 16. And
wow.
Yeah. And that's where I came up. I came up in Olympic lifting, but my heart was in bodybuilding. So after the Junior Olympics, so at these meets, we would go with the team, the Belleville Barbell Club. Since the bodybuilding didn't happen until after the weightlifting, my father used to make everybody stay so I could see like the first few guys. I said, Dad, I just want to see that one guy,
Yeah.
And they would come out, and all the Olympic lifters were like, these guys were gay. They put oil on their bodies. They're posing in these trunks. I fucking loved it because I sat in my garage as a kid, not looking so much early years at wrestling. That didn't happen until I was 8. But in those years from 2 to 8, I would accompany my father to the gym, and he had a stack of old bodybuilding and weightlifting magazines, Strength and Health and Muscular Development. And I would sit in the garage and pore over those magazines. And there used to be an ad in the back. It was a little kid, and it looked like husky. He was like snarling, and it said something like, get your weightlifting kit, and something, whatever it was. And I'm like, fuck that kid. I'm like, I'm gonna get jacked. We didn't even have that word back then, I got mad as a little kid in the article,
Yeah. Now, when you broke into the business of wrestling, did you know it was a work, or did you really?
Yes.
You knew it was a work. Okay.
Yeah. So I started, of course, figuring it out. I was I was a black belt in jiu-jitsu by the time I was 17 years old.
Okay.
So I knew that you can't jump off the top rope and land with your knee across the guy's throat without killing him.
Yeah.
Because I knew, because I would fight. I knew, And then this was the key that really sealed it for me. Bruno is wrestling Ivan Koloff.
Oh.
He's got Bruno. Bruno's in the corner. Koloff has his foot on Bruno's chest. Bruno slumped in the corner. Well, Bruno's trying to get color, which there was no reason to. He didn't, at that point, had not really gotten hit in the head. So I guess he had it in his head that's when he was going to do it. And I actually on VHS stopped
Okay.
the tape and could see Bruno take the blade out.
Blade
But
and
what
get
he
a
was
blade
trying
back.
to, if you could find it because there was probably
Okay.
only so many of those. But Bruno's trying to pull Koval's foot up around his head and face so he could cover up the fact
Cover it.
that he's gigging.
Okay.
And I'm like, look at this, man, But
Mm-hmm.
I knew, I already knew about it. So what happened
Okay.
was I was looking through Wrestling Eye magazine, which my good friend Carmine DeSpirito actually was involved in years ago. So I see an article for wrestling. No, it was in Wrestling Eye magazine. It was for EWA, and they were out of New Jersey. It was an article about them. So I'm like, EWA, C. Warren, New Jersey. There's no phone number, but I said,
Mm-hmm.
let me take a shot. That back then you call 411 information.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can you give me the number of an EWA in C. Warren, New Jersey? And then they gave me a number. I'm like, holy shit, score. So I call and I said to them, yeah, listen, I'm a bodybuilder and like I'm trying to break into the wrestling business. And they blew me off. Right.
Okay.
But I found out they were running a show on the boardwalk where Gary Capetta's parents owned the Royal Arcade, the whole pier.
Mm.
And they were having a show on the pier in the summer. And I knew Gary since I was a kid. However, it had been probably 10 years since I've seen him.
Okay.
At this point, I'm 28 years old. I go down there.
Mm-hmm.
I stand over on the side. I'm in the standard block pose, with your arms crossed.
Yes.
And I just came off the 85 Mr. America, where I placed 9th place out of 32 guys. And this is after switching from NPC to AAU because I won the NPC jersey, the middleweights.
Okay.
So I'm standing there. There was nobody around that looked like me at that point. It wasn't
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
in later years, there's a lot of jack guys. No. And there's a lot of jack guys, but there's not a lot of competitive bodybuilders.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm standing there and I'm watching and I'm like, these guys suck. Like, I saw this one guy, the Blue Max, turns out to be Ted Petty. So Rocco Rock, right?
Rocco Rock from the Public Enemy, yes.
Yeah. So this is 86. So I'm watching and I see these guys looking. I recognize the one guy, Jimmy Ryan. I recognized him. And they're looking over and they're like staring at me, that shorts on, all tan. Just I got bulked up since the America, but I still look good. Actually, I thought I looked better because when you're ripped, when you put your clothes on, not everybody can notice that you're jacked under your clothes.
Exactly.
So anyway, one guy makes his way over. He says, "Hey," I said, "How you doing?" I'm playing real cool, because they blew me off, right? So on the phone. So he says, "Hey," he says, "Man, you're in some kind of shape." I said, "Yeah, thank you. I just competed at Mr. America." Really? Yeah, yeah. He said, "Would you ever think about, getting into pro wrestling?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "As a matter of fact, I checked around and I called somebody and they really just kind of, blew me off. Who did you call? I said, you. He goes, what? I said, yeah, I called you. I said, he goes, well, we don't know. What somebody, it could be a nut on the phone,
Yeah.
I said, okay. He says, are you interested in training? I said, well, I'll be honest with you. I come from a martial arts background. You can see what I look like. I was doing early gymnastics, martial arts. I said, I'll be honest with you. I think I could do a better job than almost everybody on your card. I said, except for that Blue Max guy. They go, well, he's the trainer. I go, well, then no problem. Ted Petty.
Ted Petty. Rocco Rock.
Yep, Rocco Rock. Met him that day. God bless him. Wow. One of the most instrumental people. I got a picture of him and I as a tag team when he was Antonino Rocca Jr. I was Mr. New Jersey. And the rest is pretty much history. So
you remember your first match?
Of course. My first match was at the Sussex County Horse and Farm Show.
Oh, wow.
So we get there. It's in up in North Jersey, all the way up by the border of New York and Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So we go up there, Sussex County. So we go up there, and I don't know why we didn't know about licensing, or we should have known, but they said we can get licensed tonight when the commission comes, but you got to go to the hospital and get an EKG. They put us in a fucking ambulance, took us to the hospital. We got EKGs. We came back, and I worked a tag match with the guy that was my training partner. He never broke in after that. I never saw him. Barnyard Brewster and me against Ted Petty, and this other guy was part of the training, but he was terrible. Stan. His name was Stan. We had a tag match. And I remember they had us in a construction trailer because it was an outdoor show. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching them putting up chicken wire on the fence of the football field. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? The guy says, you don't know what these people get like when we have wrestling here. He says, because it's a free show, because it's part of the fair. And okay. Come out. And I thought it was in another country. I'm in New Jersey. People are like, we don't get no wrestlers around here like you. I'm like, oh, fucking Jersey? What the hell's going on here? And they went nuts. They had the chicken wire up because they were throwing shit. So we go back to the trailer, and all the boys are there, all the old timers. Yeah, Ivan Putski, everybody. So I remember. Yeah, they looked at us because I said, come on, let's go sign some autographs. I'm already like into it. And they like looked at us, these two green guys, going out. We went out and stood on that little trailer porch and signed autographs for free to all the people.
Wow.
Then I come back in the trailer. Somebody says, you live down south, not south, but down state, right? I said, yeah. Oh, Ivan Putski needs a ride to the North Airport. Now that's right near me. I'm like, okay. And already, I wasn't like the kind of kid to be starstruck because I've been new to, Dave Yohannan, Pete Reeves was a jobber way back. I grew up with these, as a kid, following these guys. So when I came in like respectfully. They weren't. They treated. What my first paydays were? $100. Oh, wow. In 1986, I thought I got robbed when the Saboldi's only gave me 75. So I mean, yeah. So it's a tough thing today. I mean, I'm paying kids 100 now, and they're jumping for joy.
Wow.
So yeah. So anyway, Putski's like, "Oh, you'll take me to the airport." I said, "Yeah, all right." He sat in the back seat, talked about himself the whole way, never stopped. And left banana peels and orange peels in my back seat.
Oh my God!
So that was the beginning, and then Davey O'Hannon started over top rope or whatever, running down in Wildwood. And
now, what people don't realize is that before Paul Heyman was really ECW, it was Eddie Gilbert and Todd Gordon, but Eddie Gilbert was there.
But who was? Yes, who was it? What did Eastern Championship Wrestling come from? And I'll give you a hint. The guy was sitting next to me at the con. You know who that guy was sitting next to me?
No, who was that?
Joel Goodhart.
Oh my God.
That was Tri-State Wrestling, TWA.
Tri-State Wrestling. Wow. Okay.
They started all of this extreme shit before Extreme, before Eastern.
It was Eastern, right? And then before that.
And that came directly from Joel Goodhart. All of those guys. And the thing about Joel is he was having Abby and Brody, and he had
Snooker. Was Snooker there? Snooker was there, right?
Snooker was there. But Tri-State had Johnny Hotbody and Tony Stetson. Oh, yeah. And all those guys were the original crew with me when it went Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Okay, when Eastern Championship. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And so how that came about was I heard about Todd Gordon through Gary Wolf, Pitbull, but Gary was with Anthony in Japan, and he couldn't go to check the promotion out. So I did, and I called Todd Gordon. Todd talks about it on the timeline, word for word. He said, "Yeah, I got a call from Tommy Cairo." He says, "I didn't really know him, and he said, can I come down and bring somebody with me?" He says, "I don't you want to do like a debut or like a tryout or whatever, I got a show that we do for free for kids here at the Variety Club or for kids that have disabilities. We went there and we tore the house down. We got a standing ovation. I brought little Guido Maritato.
Oh, Little Guido. I know Little Guido. Yeah.
Yep. I brought James with me. The pilot is me against James at the Philadelphia Sports Club.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we rocked the place. You know.
Have you talked to James in a while? Have you talked to James? I have James's number.
The last time I talked to James, I got the picture up here. It was me, him, and Tommy Rich. We went to do a little appearance for Eric Sims.
Oh, Eric Sims, of course.
That's right. That's before I lost my legs. That was at least a good 6 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Did you prefer wrestling a heel or baby face?
That's a good question. You know why? I like it. I like both, but I would say that when I found my true, I would say, alter ego, which is really me. I'm a good guy, but I was like a Stone Cold kind of like.
So you like kind of heelish?
Yeah. Like, in other words, I'll give you an example how I come up with this. Before there was a Stone Cold, and it's crazy and it may not mean much, but it does to me because it's pretty cool. In the top 500, I forget what year it was. I'm ahead of Stone Cold.
Really?
I'm ahead of Steve Austin. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, what I think it came out of watching Bob Backlund as champion. And every heel comes out and they're going to tear him limb from limb. And then he comes out and he's like, Vince, I've been training really hard. And, I'm going to go out and do the best I can. After a while, you sound like a schmuck. When everybody's going to rip your head off and you're, when are you going to fight back and have a little fire? And that's why they didn't keep him. Because, and what they should have done was let Superstar have it for a little longer.
Yeah.
It was an illegal chokehold. Bobby Backlund was choking my esophagus. I was gasping for air. Tell him, Wiz.
That's a great imitation. Wow, that's pretty good.
I ain't got. Then I do my Jesse's. Why don't you tell me?
Yeah.
I'm in the Baja. Will Sasso do him?
Will Sasso does a great imitation of him. Yes.
I'm in the Baja.
Now, you had some great matches with the Sandman. You and the Sandman had, a lot of great things. Now, was he one of your favorite? You had a lot of chemistry with him inside the ring. Who was your favorite to work with?
Yeah, we had a lot of chemistry, and I'm going to just tell you the quick story about how that happened. So Michael Fay was a kid that got caned in Singapore.
Yes,
and then that's where that angle came from. So one day we're all sitting in the locker room, and before the show, and by that time, Hack and I were just smoking pot together. We're hanging out with our wives and Peaches and my wife.
Yep.
So we're hanging out, and Paulie says, "All right, listen." He says, "I want to run some angle off of this Singapore caning things. We're going to use a kendo stick, and I need 2 volunteers to run this program. And just so you know, you're going to have to get color, and it's not going to be just your head." Okay. Everybody was like silent. I look over. Don't forget, this is before this was really all this stuff was going on. Yeah. Sandman looks at me. I look at him. Boom, our arms go up. Right? Wow. 1 year of every kind of Singapore caning thing, whatever you can come up with, cane on a pole, dueling canes. And yet, to this day, when Sandman tells the story about Paulie pulling a branch down out of the tree, no, that was me that pulled the branch down out of the tree. We didn't have a kendo stick, and I had the electrical tape. You think Paulie had electrical tape? I was the electrician. Yeah, I had the electrical tape. And I taped the whole thing up with tape, and we use it. So why? Now, I see Hack at a con, and there's a picture of me and him on my table. I've got a bunch of pictures of him and I swinging the canes, and he looks down and he goes, "That really is where it all started." So why the fuck do you lie then? Why they act as if Tommy Dreamer just came in and started? It was a year, and I watched Tommy Dreamer not even be able to get color. He tried 10 times and he couldn't do it. Whatever, I think he was just afraid. right? And I, me and Sandman did that for a year until we turned it over. And eventually I got disgusted and my back was really bad. And I needed some time off and I quit. Everybody thinks I got Paul, and I went on record to say it in many podcasts. Paul Heyman was deathly afraid of me because he knew I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. And he knew in that locker room, I was one of the toughest, if not the toughest motherfucker in the locker room. Everybody knew it, and everybody knew better than to try me. And I was friends with a lot of people that were tough. They certainly weren't going to come after me. And Paul Heyman would not fire me. And since nobody else would take up the task of trying to hurt me, I stayed until I got disgusted, and then I left. And then I went on my run with the NWA North American title and
UWF, right? You went to UWF?
I went to UWF, and then on the strength of that, in '95 when I left ECW, Dennis Corluzzo, who got screwed, you know, when they did that stupid thing with the belt. That was not a work. Dennis didn't know they were going to do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so why would you do that to a guy? You go into business for yourself. You know, anytime there's something that's going to go on in the ring and everybody's not privy to it, then that's going into business for yourself.
Wow. Did Paul Heyman owe you money too?
No.
No. I know a lot of the boys he owes money to this day.
Yeah, and that's my gripe. But not me, brother. He paid me, and he knew better to pay me. And when I finally left, I just walked out and I went right to work for Dennis Corluzzo, and I had 15 shots against Dan Severn for the NWA title while he held the UFC title, because Dan and I knew each other from Japan for UWF. And Dennis was like, I can't get anybody else really to work with him, you know. And at first it was tough because he had that woman, forget her name. There's a woman that was a manager for him, and she basically told Dan, don't give anybody anything. And I told Dan, listen, we can't work that way. This is not the UFC. You want to work in pro wrestling, you're going to have to work.
Yeah. And I just had Dan on last week. Dan Severn.
Great guy.
Great guy. I have his number. He tells me to text him all the time. Great guy. I love Dan.
And the other guy I was tight with over there was Greg Bobchick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the Spartan. He was in NAWA with Vince. No, with Shamrock.
Oh, Ken Shamrock.
Shamrock was there for Pancrase, and he tried to, get us to go over there. Yeah. I said, no, that's a straight shoot. I don't feel like getting hurt. Ended up in a hospital over here. So I did with the UWFI.
How was the locker room? I heard Taz was a jerk in the locker room.
Not when I was there.
No? Because I heard he was a little bit of a bully, Taz, sometimes. No, not with you?
Not when I was there. He was like a lamb in front of me.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
Because
he knew he was a fake. He knew he was a fake tough guy.
That's what I heard too.
And I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it let me get around in locker rooms where people said, "Listen, he'll do whatever you want. You don't mistreat him and do not disrespect him, but don't fuck with him."
Yeah.
And who else was going to work with Manny Fernandez for 3 years?
Yeah,
some 60-something matches where Frankie Goodman would say to Luke, cousin Luke, well, if I got them both on a card, I have no choice but to put them together. Because number one, nobody else wants to work with Manny, and people are starting to not want to work with Tommy, because he works with Manny.
The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. What a great guy.
Oh man, me and him beat the living crap out of each other, bro.
Yeah.
Willingly,
Yeah, wow, that was crazy. How was the locker room as far as there's a lot of drugs back there, wasn't it? A lot of partying?
A lot of drugs.
A little bit crazy.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy, but I'm going to tell you the truth. It got crazier after I left. And here's the thing about how I avoided. Number one, I had a wife.
Okay.
I didn't bring my wife one show and the next show I got a rat. I didn't do that. Okay.
No. Okay.
Never. So how I did things were I went through the front of ECW building, Swanson and Rickner. I didn't go through the back. The back is where all the shit was going on when you enter that back. I never went back there. I never hung outside there. I never snorted coke off of hookers' asses.
Oh,
I didn't do that. I had too much respect for my wife.
Wow.
I would never do that. And they knew that, and they abused Angel. Angel. What's Angel's last name now? I always get her mixed up. Amoroso. And she was, I could say it because she said it. She was abused, and Sabu alluded to the fact that there was a lot of abuse towards women.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they knew that I wouldn't do that and wouldn't, so it was never done around me. And I didn't. A lot of times I said to Todd, "Do me a favor, put me across the street in a hotel." I had people knocking on my door with crack pipes, and so I said, just put me on the other side, by myself.
Yeah, is that one of the reasons why a lot of the boys are dead, because they're doing,
of course.
Balls Mahoney we lost. He was a great guy. He's, obviously.
I saw Sabu at a con 3 weeks before he died, and he came up to me and he goes, "Hey, Cairo," he goes, "You got any drugs? You always have drugs."
Wow.
I go, "Sabu, you're talking 25 years ago. I don't have no drugs. I got weed if you want to smoke weed." Oh, no. And what did he do? He left there. He must have got some dope or some fentanyl, and next thing you know, he's dead.
Yep. Yeah.
And I said it. I said that he's not going to live long. I just knew it. I've lost Ted Petty. I've lost numerous, close friends.
Yeah.
I just lost my trainer, Bobby Bold Eagle.
Oh wow! Did he? Wow, Jesus.
Bobby Bold Eagle just passed. Yeah.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Unbelievable.
And you know what? It's amazing because here I am. But for the grace of God, go I. Here I am.
Yep, exactly.
I hit my one knee in the morning and at night, and I never miss. And if I have to pray during the day, pray for coverage against the evil that's out there. And man, you start running pro wrestling and the indies again, you will see some evil, bro. You cannot believe the stuff that goes on, and what I have just been put up with, and just secured some new buildings and stole out from under somebody a whole deal. We're going into the Showboat on July 11th.
Wow.
Yep, we got the building, and we will do numerous shows there, and we're taking a little on the road tour thing down to New Orleans. So it's going to be a good deal, and that's all behind someone that I know for 30 years that waits for me to book my show, and then 6 weeks out books his show in my town, in the high school in my hometown of 30 years.
Wow.
And never said a word to me. We were talking about the very event that he was supposed to run in conjunction, a wrestling show with a convention, and I got it now because of the bullshit he was doing. There's about 3 or 4 promotions in the area that use a guy that turns out to be a pedophile. They got him on Ring camera, then police department over it and everything. And they claim they don't use them, but I got the proof that they do. So when this guy who we're doing a convention for, I said to my partner, you know what? And not to steal the shows from them, but so they don't fuck that up too down there. And then we have no chance to even go there and present it. You need to call him and tell him that there's a great risk that every single guy, mom and pop shop that this kid goes into, he's talking to kids that work there, and he got caught on a Ring doorbell, no shirt on, banging on the door of a 14-year-old girl. And when he told the guy that, he goes, okay. He called the kid up. He told him, and the kid had done nothing to promote yet. It's only like 8 weeks at that point, 9 weeks out. So we commandeered the whole deal. We went down, we met with the guy, we signed an agreement, and that's it. He's gone. He got the phone call. You're done. Sorry. Didn't tell him why. And now he knows. So now maybe he'll think about, I'm not, listen, I come from Newark, New Jersey. I grew up with the mob. I'm not trying to be that.
No.
But damn it, if you push me to be it, the Newark will come out in me, and I won't use my fists or my boots. I use my head and my 40 years in this business of doing good shit and always looking out for other people, never trying to hold anybody else back. And what we're doing right now, we're a 501(c)(3) not-for-profit. I don't make no money. If we ever get a building while we write our grants, my partner and I will have positions. But other than that, it costs me money to
Mm-hmm.
operate. Not for the shows, but for gas and expenses and
Mm-hmm.
not getting paid. Everybody's getting paid but us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
that's all right. I got a bigger
Yeah.
picture.
Yep. You got some wrestlers you think they could make it in the WWE and stuff on your promotion?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah,
got Wrecking Bull Legursky. Have you heard of him?
I have heard of him. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, he can
He looks pretty good.
easily. Yeah. My world champion, my world women's, I don't have world champions. Women's champion, Zenith Zion. She's a little black girl. She
Uh,
can pick up and slam a 350-pound person.
wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. I got
Mm.
a tag team. Her husband and his partner, Ethan and Brandon. I always get this word. Their name's screwed up. Streamline. They're a tag team. They're getting the tag belts this weekend.
Mm.
Yeah, we got the heavyweight champion will be determined this weekend. The final is Alvin Alvarez against Wrecking Ball.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got Jack Martens. I got a lot of good talent.
That's
Um,
great, man.
yeah, and that's why you can't bring the big names in. I mean, if my my lead best guy gets $300 to $400, I'm not spending that on anybody else.
Yeah, no one else can get paid.
I mean, I'm saying I'm not, if I give him, that's my highest paid guy, nobody else gets that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got
Mm-hmm.
one guy and then it goes down from there. And
Yeah.
I have slots. You get
Yeah.
me? I
Yep.
got four $75 slots. I got, $600 slots. I got maybe two 150s. I might
Mm-hmm.
have a 200 and a 300. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We own our ring. We only pay 400 for any building that we go or we don't go because
Mm-hmm.
that goes in for a donation under the not-for-profit.
Yep.
So right off the bat, that immediately goes to them, and we also give an additional amount of money. And if I stay in that framework, I think we raised this show about 2,000 in sponsorships.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what that's like, going out hammering 150, 200 at a clip. Their mom and pop shops.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably shouldn't even give out this formula, but I will because I don't think people will even. Everybody thinks they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things. I do 40 every show, two-sided lawn signs.
Okay.
So let's just say you got a strip mall and you're thinking, all right, there's a tattoo parlor,
Mm-hmm.
there's a laundromat, there's a convenience store, there's a pizzeria, there's a smoke shop. I could essentially put a poster in each one of those, and each one of them has its own demographic.
Mm.
Because you may go in the smoke shop, but you don't go in the laundromat.
That's true.
So if I hit that strip, everyone with both signs, because I got two shows within 14 miles, three shows within 14 miles of each other, I have that middle ground where both people can go to both shows.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's the first wave. The second wave is the signs. Now you take that corner with that strip mall and don't put the signs up. Let's say you already put the posters up. Now you got the signs.
Okay.
Once you put that one or two signs on that major intersection where that strip mall is,
Mm-hmm.
those posters become less significant because now with one sweep, 3,000 cars go by between 3 and 6 o'clock. That's all those cars that have to stop at that light backed up are seeing that sign
Yep.
without ever once going in that strip mall in any one of those stores.
Wow.
Then I get the two-sided postcards with the QR codes on them, and we hit Walmart's 200 cars at a pop. Boom,
Okay.
boom, boom. They're two-sided, so when you see it when you're going to the car, and you see it if you get in the car. One
Mm.
show on one side, one show on the other. All our
Wow.
graphics. I think we put out 2,000.
Wow. That's great. That's
So
great.
let's say you were lucky to get 10% of that. That's 200 people, and that's a high number, 10%.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that, you did 40 signs, double-sided. You did 2,000 postcards on cars. You did 80 posters.
Mm-hmm.
and you did all your internet. What the fuck else can you do?
Mm-hmm. You have social media and stuff?
Yeah, we do everything on social media. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
my experience has been that never really translates to the numbers that you would expect.
Mm.
Because I'll tell you why. Most people that are looking at wrestling on Facebook or online
Yeah,
stay there.
that's
They
true.
stay there in that house and they don't go to shows necessarily.
That's true.
So yeah, you're depending on the older, the uncles, the aunts, the grandparents, the parents, to say, hey, listen, I saw the poster at the smoke shop, or I saw it on the sign on the street. The kids are too busy looking at their phone. If they're not driving, they're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the
100%.
older, yeah, it's the older people that still like wrestling, still want to see it, and
Mm-hmm.
can't afford to see WWE or AEW,
Yeah.
and come to our shows and be right on top of the action. You
Yeah.
know,
Because the WWE shows, their ticket prices are insane these days. No one
yeah,
wants to go. I'd rather watch young guys that and
absolutely.
cheap and relax and watch something, see something new happening.
And how about this? The atmosphere of 22,000 fans, it's not very intimate.
No.
So if you're this firehouse I'm doing on Monday,
Okay.
we see probably 200,
Okay.
and I do two shows, so that would open me up to have double my capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But because we have two shows the day before, and we're doubling our capacity,
Mm-hmm.
ability to, then we only did one show the next day. But typically, I do Sundays. I pick Sundays because everybody's booked all the rest of those days, and it's a lot easier to book people on Sundays.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I do that, and I do two shows.
Mm.
I do a matinee and then maybe a half-hour break. Since I'm not one of these guys who's paying by the hour for a venue, we don't have to rush our shows to be out of there so we don't get charged for the extra 2 hours.
No, that's great. That's
We
good.
got all the time. That means we can take our time. We don't have to rush the matches. You listen, go in the back and listen to some of these. Wait, they're setting. First match, yes, it goes 6 to 8. Second match, yeah, 6 to 8. Third match, go 7, 8 minutes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's all to get rushed through, and then they don't give enough time for the intermission for the workers to make a few bucks because they're
Mm.
so worried about getting out of the building.
Yes.
See, I don't have that, so we're going to take our time. We do parade of champions. We call each worker before the show starts, and they run out to the ring in rapid succession, and they all
Wow.
come around, and all competitors again, everybody around the ring, and we start chanting "super strong," banging on the edge of the mat.
Wow, that's great.
Super strong, super strong. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was your parade of champions. Let's get ready for the first match as they say goodbye. We'll see them all in a minute. And boom, they go back.
Wow, that's great. That's really
Yeah,
great. Really,
stuff
really
that,
cool things. Yeah.
and then the locker room talk is not like a Paul Heyman hanging over people. It's me expressing my gratitude and laying
Mm-hmm.
down a little groundwork about what we expect. Do
Mm-hmm.
not put your trash anywhere except the garbage can. I don't want to smell weed. If you want to go smoke weed, you go out around back away from everybody. Nobody drinks alcohol or smells like alcohol. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the other thing is, you guys have to realize I had to go through hell to get these buildings. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot do anything to jeopardize the fact that they're letting us in here, and consider each one to be trial by fire. You do, if
Yeah.
everything goes good, then you come back. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, but I had this show on the 24th set for the Elks in Lacey Township. They fucked around with us so much. I said, you know what? These people, it's not going to work. We're out of here. We
Wow.
pulled out of there. And then with 6 weeks left, I had to find a building cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And go in and convince them, number one, to host wrestling, number two, to do it on a holiday, and number
Mm-hmm.
three, do it when the school is closed.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I got it. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to go back to where I was 20 years ago
Mm-hmm.
in Harbor City. And it's a new building that they gave us. And
Mm-hmm.
I switched everything over. So my wife was like, "Well, what happens to your fan base?" Well, I'm going to create a new one. I got 6 weeks to put the stuff out there to get the show. Anybody that wants to come, that was going to come to the show in the other spot, they're welcome to come down. I'll let them in for free. But I'm just build a whole new demographic. And when we started to announce that Force One, I was Redux, which is the promotion that I had 20 years ago down there. We're doing a Redux, and everybody started calling, and everybody wants to know. And so we're doing that, and we're resurrecting that Force One.
Wow, that's great.
So
Unbelievable, man.
yeah.
You know, looking back at the, the highs, the struggles, the memories, what does ECW mean to you, like personally today? Like, that you can remember.
That's a good question. Good questions. I'll tell you what, I don't hang my hat on it. Here's an example. My wife went up North Jersey. She went into some little shop. She found an ECW sticker. She brought it home and she gave it to me. Oh, here. What? And she's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "Well, you act like, you don't you don't like it." I go, "Honey, I don't know if you know it or not, but that's not my call, my whatever you want to call to glory. I don't hang my hat on that. I think I did so much other good stuff that I don't get offended by it. I mean, that's part of what I did, and I do. I got out of 3 or 4 pictures I got up there. At least 2 of them are swinging a cane.
Yep.
So I can't say that. Just that my experience there was tough. Oh, you mentioned Eddie Gilbert. Eddie loved me.
Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
Yeah, he used to get it. He used to get all his drugs from me, all his steroids.
And that's why he loved you, probably.
Yeah. Well, he saw me and he came right to me. He goes, "Wait, did he get me this?" I said, "It makes sense to go to the most jacked guy in the locker room." You know what I mean?
Exactly. You get stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was good. But you know what? There was problems with Gilbert and Paulie, and when that went down, I was really doing well at the time, and they were using me on pretty much right up at the top of the mix. And as soon as Heyman got there, it started to change. And then I said, "I'm going to get buried." And that's why when he asked about the Singapore Canes, I threw up my hand. I said, "I got to do something,"
Yeah.
And everybody else in the locker room, the pit bulls, fucking rottens, they were all like, "Oh, why are you going to do that? That means anything he asks, we're going to have to do." Yet they're all still doing it. Any ones that are alive, they're still hanging their hat on ECW.
Yeah.
Unless somebody asks me or mentions it to me, I'll talk about it. It always comes up. Remember the interview when I said eating peaches?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, I was into it and I made the most of it. And I would say that aside from my matches with Severn and Manny, that yes, that was something that definitely makes my whole background. I can't deny it. I didn't like Heyman, and to this day, like you said, he owes a lot of people that are gone
Yes.
money, and that really sucks. And you know what? The people that he owed really could have used it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Any wrestlers you in the ring turn into a shoot?
With me, no.
Yeah, with you, no liberties.
No, I mean, I was on alert with Sandman, even though we were friends. He was very close to Heyman, and I'm thinking, well, at some point he may, ask, the hack to try to hurt me. So I was very stiff with him.
Okay.
And I was always ready in case it looked like he could slip something in and do it under the guise of, just working, So, but other than that, yes, in Japan, Sakuraba, I had him tied up. All right. So long story short, he wasn't wanting to sell. If you ever saw my match against Takayama, I drop him on his head. 48,000 people in that baseball stadium.
I think I saw that on YouTube. I think I saw. Yeah.
I drop him on his head. He pops up. I go.
He didn't sell.
No, as soon as I get a good kick to the head, I'm going down and staying down like they told me. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I did. I'm like, fuck this. You're gonna make a jerk off out of me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I had Kanahara, and he was getting stupid. So what I did was, I actually have the picture on the wall. I posted it not that long ago. I
Mm-hmm.
got him double. I got the wrist barred, and I got his leg pinned up in my crotch in
Okay.
like a ride position,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep.
and he ain't going fucking nowhere. I'm squatting 700 pounds. I'm doing bent over rows with 405.
Mm-hmm.
I'm benching 500. You ain't the little fucking Jap. You ain't stronger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed that double on arm bar and I sucked it in, and I had his leg bent up in my crotch, and I
Mm-hmm.
leaned down and put him down on the mat, and I go, whatever you want to do, bro, whatever you want to do. And we got to the ropes, broke it up, and that was smooth from right after that. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Yeah.
So really, but that's it.
Yeah, the promotion that you're running today, with your kids today. I mean, what's making you different the way Heyman ran his days? What are you doing differently to make
Um,
yourself?
well, number one, we're not motivated by greed or self
That's good.
promotion or getting yourself over. And the money is being utilized to write grants and open up a youth center.
That's
And
great.
money goes to St. Jude. So when people say, oh, yeah, portion of proceeds go to where? Who? Where's the proof? We have certificates for every dime that we've given to St. Jude's. So
Wow,
that's
that's
the
impressive.
difference. And the other big difference is it's not about me unless my name helps. Other than that, don't call me from the back. Don't ask me to get in a ring. I don't care. I don't want it. I need to be taking care of business in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the gate and assist the person at the gate so I can pick and choose. Well, that's a family that just came in, a bunch of Hispanic, big Hispanic family, and they got 6 kids. I'm not charging them for every one of those kids, but who's going to make that determination other than me?
Yes.
So I won't collect the money, but I will be standing or sitting right there and say, yeah, that's fine. Don't charge them for 3 kids or whatever, you
Well,
know.
that's great. That's great. That's really what we're missing today in this world too.
And
That
you
kind of
know
stuff.
what? I live by this, bro. I live by this. My wife said, I have never, ever, she goes, I know when you're on full cylinders, you don't stop. And I haven't stopped day
Mhm.
in, day out. I'm out doing something. Sometimes I'm out at 7:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the
Mhm.
morning, and the places I need to go to aren't even fucking open yet.
Wow.
So, I can't help it. If I have a sponsor that is giving me printed materials, all good, beautiful stuff,
Hmm.
to the tune of thousands of dollars, I can't justify having a stack left over, can I?
Mm.
And that's taking advantage of a guy. He's printing out this shit. And why do you have a stack left? Because you couldn't go put them on cars, or you couldn't get somebody, or if I no matter how many I got, if I
Hmm.
got more than I need, I work till the last fucking day until I get rid of everything. Tomorrow,
Hmm.
I got a guy meeting me, and we're gonna put out 250 postcards, two-sided color graphics, beautiful, on the cars
Wow.
at the Walmart, no, close to the school, close to the venue.
Wow.
Um,
That's
so yeah,
that's
it's
great, man. We need more people like you in this world, Tommy. We do.
well, thank
Definitely.
you. I appreciate that.
Exactly. So I know it's getting late. Let's maybe come back for part two because I got more questions left, but it's getting late.
Absolutely.
Let's promote your show. When is your show? This weekend?
Yeah. So this weekend on the 24th, that's the Sunday, we
Okay.
have 2 shows in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey.
Egg Harbor City.
A 1 o'clock and a 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Doors at 12.
Doors at 12.
The following day, 14 miles north in New Gretna, New Jersey, at
Okay.
the Firehouse, we have a 1 o'clock show.
Okay.
That first date is at the Egg Harbor City Community School.
Okay. All
Tickets
right.
are $25.
Okay.
And like I just announced, if you come down, anybody comes down, and you got a big family and you're looking at maybe not being able to afford it, come down. We'll work something out. That's
Come
what we're
down.
about.
That's what they're about, man. So everyone
Yep.
come on down to the show this weekend, Egg Harbor. Tommy, I'm going to put all the description where they can find the tickets in the link in this description, and we'll get together for a part 2. You know, like I said, you're a Jersey guy. Let's promote you as much as we can. Maybe I can even help you with a sponsor too. So,
that would be awesome, bro.
Yes. Okay.
Listen, I appreciate you, Joe, man. Much love and respect, bro.
Much love, man. You're a Jersey brother. We got to look out for each other, man.
That's right. You got that right. I'm going to get you on a good leg program.
Okay.
You know I'm just busting your chops.
I know. All right, Tommy.
Hey,
love you.
Guys from New Jersey, we expect that from each other, and we're disappointed when you don't do it.
You got it, man. All right, Iron Man.
Tommy, all right, you take care, Joe.
Let's talk again. You got it.
All right, bye-bye.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Body builder coating. Gears on the course.